Yo, 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 it's your boy JT Thomas and one
Royal A. Shepherd, what's going on, gang? How you doing today?
coming in with y'all live again for episode 8 of this good bulletin board material. We
Yes,
got a lot
sir.
on the agenda today. That boy won Jimmy Butler,
Mm-hmm.
college football national championship, and a little bit more. May have a little surprise for you all at the end of the show. So stay tuned
Okay.
for that. But to kick this thing off, Royal, I know this is what you do when it comes to the Miami Heat, right? So like
Yeah.
this, I'm actually gonna grab my popcorn to where. What do you think about this Jimmy Butler thing, bro?
Yeah. So just to catch
Give
people
us,
up. So
bring us
Jimmy
back. Give us a quick.
Yeah, a quick synopsis, catch people up what's
Yeah.
going on. So Jimmy Butler's been suspended for 2 more games. So he missed the team flight to Milwaukee today because they canceled practice and ended up flying out a little bit earlier. So there seems to be some miscommunication there. So he missed the team flight. So he's been suspended for this short 2-game road trip, and he's going to stay in Miami while the team is out on the road. They have been much more aggressive than they have in recent days in trying to get this trade done, especially Phoenix. Phoenix traded their 2031 first round draft pick and acquired 3 more picks back from the Utah Jazz. Um, but I'm a bit conflicted, JT. So initially, I thought that I was on par. Like I thought I was on the same side as Jimmy, like in terms of him wanting his money, going through this process of kind of like not getting the team that he wanted, not getting the money that he wanted. So he decided that he wanted out, and I thought that franchise was being a bit stubborn in terms of not, kind of acquiescing to what the man wanted. He wanted to get out, trade him, and they didn't do that.
A bit stubborn, Royal. It's the
Yeah.
Miami Heat for crying out loud. It's Pat Riley for crying out loud.
But that's the thing, and like
Go ahead.
he just they're in this kind of like stalemate. But at this point now, it's like now Jimmy Butler's not doing his job. Like at first he wasn't doing it, but now he's really like doubling down on not doing his job. The 7-game suspension wasn't enough, so he came back. Now you're not doing your job. Now you get another suspension. And it's turning me a little bit sour on Jimmy Butler in this situation where it's like, I understand you want your money. They're going to trade you. You don't have to be like this on your way out the door. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like his intent now has become personal on both sides. It's gotten in the way of business. It's gotten in the way of the product that people get to watch on the floor, and it's just leaving a sour taste in my mouth at this point, bro. Like I'm not really feeling it.
You know what they say? Should have never gave you ninjas money, right? I think Jimmy does have that FU money, and we're kind of seeing that on full display.
Yeah.
But man, he's the guy that you want to like. For me, knowing like sport, and he's the guy that you want on your team, right? What you don't want is him on like maybe a conference right like you probably don't want to have to play against him regardless of what happens here going forward.
Sure.
And I agree with you. As good of a player as he is, there's also a certain level, of class that you expect from people of high caliber, right? But that's not me taking a jab at Jimmy because, bro, from what I'm hearing, between his dad, like, he's been through a lot, right? And we don't care a lot of the times. And that's, I would say this too, and the way he's going about it, man, just wrong organization. Like it's gonna get.
The problem is like most of the time, like people could give
take longer than you think. Like Pat Riley gonna do you over because that's what they do here, and it's more important to him to make an example out of you than it is for you to be on that court, at this point. So,
and I think what it is like it was easier for people to give Jimmy the benefit of the doubt. Like when he's exhibited this behavior before, he did this when he wanted to leave Chicago. He did this when he wanted to leave Minnesota. He didn't have to do it when he wanted to leave Philly. But it's just like when you have that history, you don't want to repeat that, bro. Especially not here where it's probably going to be a little bit rougher. But at the end of the day, like as long as Jimmy makes it to Phoenix and they give him this contract extension, then he got his way. And that's kind of where this all is headed. Like it's going to head with him ending up in Phoenix.
Why do I feel like everyone's trying to get to Phoenix?
Because Phoenix's owner is throwing cash out left and right. Like he paid everybody. He's a new owner. He's trying to make a splash. He wants to win a championship, and he's willing to pay for it.
And I will say this: Jimmy would make that team much tougher overnight. Like they're a little more finesse to me, in my opinion. Like between the guys, is Durant and Booker still there?
Yeah,
man, you added,
but they got Bradley. Yeah,
I mean, you say Bradley Beal, he probably had to go, right?
Yeah, for sure. But he has a no trade clause in his contract. So that's what's been kind of like complicating this whole thing. Here. Like he has a no trade clause. He has to waive that no trade clause. That's the salary that Phoenix is trying to move to get Jimmy Butler in there. But they gave him a list of teams.
The old no trade clause. Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So like there's a bit of complication there, but I think like teams, they're moving forward. They probably found the list of teams that he'd be willing to waive that no trade clause for. And they're going to try and get this done as soon as possible. But again, I told you this last week. I feel no different. I still feel like there's a very good chance that Jimmy Butler is not moved by the trade deadline, despite all of this. And it's going to be in the best interest of both parties to try and work it out, like later on down the line.
As a fan, do you even want to see him anymore? You want to see him work it out? Do you still have a place in your heart for him?
I can respect what Jimmy Butler has done here, but I've wanted to trade Jimmy Butler for 2 years now. Like I'm that type of fan. When we lost that finals versus Denver, it was over. We didn't get Dame. It's over. I'm ready to trade. I'm ready to move on to the next thing. So I'm still of that ilk. Like I do not mind. I don't have any sentimental value to players. I don't know these human beings. They don't know me. And they don't care about me. So I don't care about their feelings when it comes to this trading thing. I want the Miami Heat to win a championship. And the route to doing that at this point now is to move on beyond the Jimmy Butler era and try and find the next thing, try and find the next route to doing that. So, yeah, bye. Like, I don't care. I do disagree. There are some fans who, like, are against, like, because of the way this is played out, they don't want to hang his jersey. They don't want to retire his jersey or whatever. They're trying to, like, poo-poo the things that he's done while he's been here. And I think that's wrong. Like, I don't like that. You can't take away the moments that he gave us as fans during his tenure as a Miami Heat player. Like he had some of the highest playoff highs that we've ever experienced.
He definitely won me over. Like he played tough. Like he played like backyard basketball. I like that. Like,
yeah. So you can't just throw that away just because the man don't want to be here no more, bro. Like you can't take it away, but it's okay to move on to.
Yeah. So what do we have on the menu next, Roy? Are we taking this thing to the college football playoff national championship?
Yeah, let's do that a little bit because I thought that game kind of landed us squarely back where we were from the beginning in terms of like how the seeding worked versus how it ended up playing out. Like that game felt obvious to me by like the second drive of Ohio State. Like I think they gave us like a quick moment, but I'm interested to hear like how you analyze it.
There's a consensus on the part of who dominated the game, right?
Yeah.
So let me start here first. There was a kid out there, number 58 for Ohio State. Like you can tell these boys got that NIL money and that they ain't eating Roman noodles no more at night. Like when they get hungry, they put a steak on the grill and some potatoes. Man, 58 was so big. Like he had that grown man big to him. To where like a guy like him normally would probably be out of college and into the league. Yeah. But the fact that college is like his own little league now.
Yeah.
Oh man, he was massive down inside, and just the physicality. Even at the running back position for Ohio State over Notre Dame. That particular night. Now, I do think Notre Dame has a pretty good coach. I like him a lot. I don't know him as well, but from what I've gotten from him and what he's done with that team this year, I think they had a nice path to the championship, a nicer path than most with not having a title game and all that stuff. But I do like the direction that he's taking the program to where, I had this idea of Notre Dame in my head that's hard to get rid of, but he has that team playing a little bit more competitively and with just the styles a bit more physical and SEC-ish than your typical, Ivy League school kind of thing. So the physicality, the size, the difference there, the control of the game. I was super happy for J.J. Smith, bro. He was obviously the best player on the field that night, and representing Broward County, coming out of Chaminade, Madani, my boy Tyler Tate is down there. Coach Jones is doing a great job. From what I'm hearing about that kid, man, he's the real deal. And, outside of, my buddy Geno Smith, shout out West Virginia, being his cousin, you can tell that kid wants it bad, I've heard stories of him staying after to get things right in high school, and we watched him just straight up dominate, the college game, here as a freshman wide receiver. I mean, you look at some of his highlights on the one-hand catches and, the one touchdown with maybe less than 100 yards is a mile night for him in the college football playoff national championship. You know what I mean? So shout out to the kid, J.J. Smith, man. Got to give him his flowers. The young man is doing great things. And he seems like the kind of kid that you want to support, it is funny, right? Like, not only do I also feel his fans, right? But even the touchdown play, during the game, right? That was one of those ones where that's your best play for your best player to get him going, right? You got the fly motion, the arc motion, reverses out, short pass, screen pass to the end zone. That's a momentum starter, Then late in the game, the game's on the line, Notre Dame's gaining on their tails, and he puts it away, with the deep ball over the shoulder, right? And it had been the whole thing leading up this week, right? You talk about bulletin board material, right? JJ telling the cat, hey, don't play man. Y'all don't play man over there, right? And then the kid from Notre Dame kind of, leaning into the microphone a little bit and saying, we'll be playing man, right? And kind of see how that played out, right? So, we're all for it now. Walking it. It was a competitive game. It wasn't no blowout. It was getting ugly for a second, but Notre Dame had some fight in them and put themselves in position to have a chance there at the end. But yeah, definitely outplayed, outclassed in the national championship game. Shout out to Ohio State and Coach Ryan Day, because after getting their butts kicked by Michigan, most might have thought they were done, but I actually knew that this would be something that would probably propel them deep into the college football playoff. I didn't know if they would be able to get the job done in the big one or not. But they definitely proved to the world that they're the best team in the nation this year, man. So, yeah, hats off to Ohio State, Ryan Day, J.J. Smith, so forth, so on.
Yeah, I know we shout out J.J. Smith, but also just a couple other guys from Ohio State who played well. Junkins had himself a pretty nice game, had him 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. Will Howard, it was a lot of talk about Will Howard, and he stepped up big in that game, made a few plays with his legs to kind of like seal it for them. And I think like the overarching point, and I agree with you, the coach over at Notre Dame, his name is slipping me right now. I think he's Ohio State alum. But he did a wonderful job with that team, and so shout out to those boys. But I think the thing about me with Ohio State was just like looking at the defenses that they end up having to go through in order to get to this national championship. These are some of the best defenses in the country. You know what I mean? So like what they got, they earned. And so shout out to them boys. That's just it's just an accomplishment for everybody to get an opportunity to kind of like show up and show out in that way.
And also, some other kids from Broward County on the field as well too. You had I think his name is Brandon Ennis, another receiver there for Ohio State from Broward County, American Heritage, if I'm not mistaken. And then I don't know where the kid played high school at, but I think his last name is Faison, cornerback for. It's funny. The kid Faison actually made a tackle on Ennis in the middle of the game. Just cool to see that. Good on good.
It's also Carter. It's a kid named Carter. Wears number 30. I don't think he played this game, but I know his mom, Jaleesa, a friend from elementary school. So shout out to Pompano in the building. But yeah, they had him. He's on Ohio State as well. So congratulations to young boy. I think he's a freshman this year, so he might have redshirted, but he out there. Hey, congrats on your ring, young boy.
And now that we're at the end of it, right? Like, what do you think about the college football playoffs this year?
Again, bro, like I think we had the conversation earlier where I was like, the most deserving team thing needs to go. Like at the end of the day, I think this is a product to make money. This is a product to showcase kind of the premier programs that college football has to offer. And like good stories are good stories for journalism. They are not made for money-making entities in college football. Like I think the college football players is meant to make money. And if you want to make money, then you got to have kind of like if they have a good enough season, if they have an argument to be in there, then you got to have the teams that people want to see in there. So like they're Alabama, the University of Miami. Like I think those are two teams that kind of stick out like sore thumbs as teams that should have been in the tournament. And then you just got teams like I get it, and it's hard to say take something away from guys who worked as hard as teams like Boise and Arizona State worked to get into the tournament, to put themselves in position to have a chance at a national championship. It's hard to say take that away from them, but I feel like the results were the results, and like in some of these instances, you just kind of knew these teams didn't have a shot going into these games, and there would have been more competitive games on the slate had an Alabama, had a Miami gotten an opportunity to compete in there. But I think the right team ended up winning the championship. So I mean, as long as that happens, that means they got it right? Like, the right team. I felt like Ohio State was the best team in college football from the onset of the playoffs, and so as long as the ending result ends with the best team hoisting the trophy, then you got to say that it was a success. I just think that there were other opportunities.
They also had this right here. A lot of this right here going on. So yeah, they were the best team in college football. Probably the best paid team.
Listen, brother. Listen, being
well like the Ohio State brand, man. Like people follow that brand like an NFL team. They were asking people before the game, "Hey, did you go to Ohio State?" No. Like, a lot of people don't go to Ohio State, but they support the brand.
Notre Dame also has a cult following like that too, though. Like Notre Dame is a historic college too.
Yeah. I say, why stop here, right? We went from 4 to 12. Shoot, we might as well go to 32 and 6. Like, let's go all out college basketball.
See, we can't have it like a college basketball bracket. Like if I see a William and Mary College in this tournament, I'm gonna be upset, JT. I'm not gonna be. I'm not going to enjoy that. I'm not going to enjoy that, bro.
Yeah. So let's shift gears a little bit right here, bro. Maybe moving from the college football world to the NFL world. We got the playoffs this past weekend, man. Any thoughts, any comments on what you witnessed this past weekend? If you had a chance to watch a little bit.
I watched I watched this more intently than I do college football, so I got lots of thoughts. As we go around the bracket real quick.
Okay.
Like, first of all, let's start with the Kansas City and the Houston Texans game.
Okay. Bad call.
I saw it like everybody else. I saw it like everybody else. It feels like there was more than enough in the tank for them not to need what they got from the officials. But I just think it was a terribly officiated game all the way around. But shout out to Kansas City. I did pick them to win that game anyway. I just feel like that was a lot. Like it felt blatant. It felt obvious, bro. So like,
we're talking about one player in particular, right? Like specifically for me, the
quarterback, the hit on Patrick Mahomes.
For Patrick to be dancing around that much, right, and for the guys to have missed him, so but like they got much more of each other than Patrick, right? They should have been able to review that and get something like that overturned, being that you can obviously see that they collided much more than anybody hitting.
And on top of that, JT, like how long is it before like a quarterback can no longer just give himself up?
Right.
Like how long? Like there needs to be a clock on this. Like you can't move around, dance around that, and still be considered. You know what I mean? Like not a runner. You are a runner at this point, bro. Like so, you're getting hit.
Not only are you a runner, like you're not running. You're kind of like just messing around
just
out here,
dancing. And the football field is no place for that. So I'm a person like I understand. Yeah, I understand. I understand what the NFL is, and I understand it's a business, and I understand that people want points. But I am a person who grew up watching football and enjoying football a certain type of way. I played football, and there were certain rules, unspoken rules, but not a written or whatever. But you can't do that. If you're on the field, you will get hit. And I feel like they've done so much to protect quarterback that they've taken some of the football out of football. And I didn't enjoy it. And I felt like out of all the games, like that was probably the one play that kind of really got it. But overall, that game was just poorly officiated, in my opinion. And I just didn't particularly care for kind of like how it was. Even though like Kansas City, I thought they were going to win the whole time. And nothing surprised.
Like, as bad as the calls were, right? I think that you can handle it a certain way too. I feel like I heard too many guys mention it after the game.
Yeah.
To where those guys know the game doesn't boil down to one play.
No.
Like, bad call, but there's a lot of other things you can do to put yourself in position to win the game. So like,
for sure.
I get it. That's right after the game. Two guys are super frustrated. So you're really getting what's on the top of guys' brains. Like, they're not as conscious if you ask them that same question the next month. They probably wouldn't even, address how egregious the calls were because everyone can see. Even the head coach kind of hinted at it a little bit as well too. So yeah. That's unfortunate, man. But another AFC championship.
Come on now. We call it the Kansas City Invitational around here at this point. Like, so, but shout out to D'Amico Ryan.
Let's go counterclockwise, bro.
Let's go counterclockwise. So we're going to Washington and Detroit.
Yeah. First of all, shout out my boy Kelvin Shepard. So Aaron Glenn just left. Keep your eye on Kelvin Shepard, linebacker coach, LSU, my former teammate. Good friend of mine, brilliant guy, perfect guy for the job. No, I don't represent him. Right.
Aaron Glenn just got hired as the head coach for the Jets, right?
Yeah, Aaron Glenn just went over to the Jets, really replaced my old coach, Robert Saleh. That was my linebacker coach back in Jacksonville, replaced him. And Aaron Glenn was doing a great job to where I wouldn't be surprised if he took Shep with him. But if he doesn't, man, it'd be hard for me to not imagine that Shep would be, their play calling next year, man.
And also, I want to give a shout out to Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson got the job from Detroit, the offensive coordinator. He got the job over there in Chicago.
So you know what? That's when you know you're doing something right, though, bro. When you got your guys going to get head jobs, that to me is almost more. Well, winning Super Bowls at the top, but your tree, like the guys who you're able to help get opportunities, like be head coaches in the NFL, I think that says a lot about what you're doing. That you're doing something right. You know what I mean? Yeah. And as much as I'm talking about my dog being the coordinator next, won't be long before it's time for him to be a head coach somewhere. You know what I mean? When you're in a good system, man, like you understand the value in being around good coaching. You soak it up as much as you can until you kind of grown out of that position, and you leave it nice and cozy for someone who you've had a chance to work with, for a good amount of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
yeah. But to the game itself, man, that kid Jaden, man, ice cold veins, very efficient, very dangerous outside the pocket, can run, can pass.
Very
scary. He's not scared. Like, the guy has made like countless plays and countless moments. Like, I think the kid from Houston hinted at this, right? He's having like the best rookie season ever. Like, I mean, it's up there, bro. He done had like maybe 4 or 5 game winners. Like, that ain't easy to do. Quarterback ain't easy in the NFL, let alone being a good quarterback, let alone like game winning drives. Like, that's, so to watch him have this kind of success is unusual, and he's doing a great job, man. And that's what beat Detroit, in my opinion. Not so much that they had a bad day, but more they got outplayed by a kid who's pretty phenomenal.
I think I agree.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I think I agree. But I also think that there were some moments where Detroit kind of hurt themselves. They have so going back to Ben Johnson, phenomenal mind, and has like a good pulse on when to call some of those trick plays and whatnot.
He got a little
Or
too
those trick,
tricky.
you feel me? And one of them backfired on him. You know,
Yeah.
when you got a non-quarterback back there making quarterback reads and trying to make quarterback decisions, like it don't always work out.
Now that's 50-50 now. Like Jameer also not Jameer.
Jameson
He
Williams.
also knows that if it's covered, and especially
don't throw it.
If it's double covered,
don't throw that.
Like I'm sure he's been coached on that, you know. But it's neither here. They're like not.
But you know how I get though. Like in the heat of the moment, like they finally give you the opportunity to throw it. I'm throwing that thing. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I did with the consequences after. I'm throwing that thing, and I'm throwing it like I played quarterback. But yeah, like I think in their case,
not when that money on the line. Not in the playoffs when we playing for checks.
That's real. You can't do that. But like I think like they got a little too tricky, and that ended up costing them. But I agree with your overarching point, boy. Jaden Daniels is for real, and I think like that's terrifying what Washington is going to be able to do, like because this season's already a success. Like this anytime you go from a number 2 pick to a potential spot in the AFC Championship game. Wait, you in the AFC Championship game? Not yet. But on the NFC Championship game, but like but
NFC Championship game.
Yeah, but I'm saying like anytime you get into that position, bro. Like you set yourself up for success for the long haul because now you're able to add around that young quarterback without his contract being an issue for the first 4 or 5 years of his career. And so I think that's like they're on a great trajectory. And to be honest with you, I don't even think they really have to like wait on that. They got a good chance to kind of get something done
now.
Here, I think that defense. Like they get a lot of
names, like as in they're better without the names.
Well, they got some names, but they got names that people didn't think much of. So you go out there and you go get a Bobby Wagner, who people say is long in the tooth, and he has been solid for them, like on that defense all season long.
Bobby can play.
Yeah, like he can play, and he still can play right now. And you get people like Terry McLaurin having a great year. And the kid, Jaden Daniels, like leading it all. One thing that I like that they said that he does, they have like this virtual reality kind of headset that he puts on that allows him to practice reading coverages and like seeing how defenses adjust and stuff like that. And it like puts him in the stadium so that he can kind of get that feel ahead of the game. Bro, like it's whatever they're doing over there in Washington is working. Shout out to my guy Dan Quinn too. Much maligned after his tenure in Atlanta. But he came over there to Washington and he's making things shake. So shout out to the Washington Redskins. Phenomenal game by them. And it's scary, bro. They can put up a lot of points. And so I'm gonna be interested to see kind of what the Philadelphia Eagles got to do with them, which will pivot us to the next game. Did you get an opportunity to see any of that? Like Philly versus
man, you know, for one, that game by Saquon was very reminiscent of Shady McCoy. Heard he called him up before the game for a few pointers. Now, I don't want to go down my Shady McCoy rabbit hole. We have some really terrible memories together. But outside of that, you know, Saquon, he deserves everything he gets, man. This is a kid who's great and hasn't had a chance to compete in the playoffs. You know what I mean?
How many of these terrible memories? No, you can't just skip by that.
No, there's only one. There's only one. That's just the first memory.
Is it like something that's like can't be shared publicly? Because I want to know. I'm curious.
You know, it's pretty public. You know, 13-9. Look it up. You know, West Virginia won game before the national championship. It's the whole thing. Just backyard brawl, 4-9. You know, 4 and something versus 10 and something, and we lose one game before the national championship. That's a whole episode, bro. I'd like to have Shady on for that episode.
Okay.
Yeah. Where were we?
We were talking about the Rams and the Eagles.
So, you know, and I'm rooting for LA for the Fire. Man, that was devastating and still is. We'll always be like, that's one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. Reminds me of our bad hurricanes over here. But I probably prefer the water over what I saw with that fire. That was pretty scary. Like, that was like being in a movie, something different, you know. praying for the families who've been affected by that fire. And I think we all were pulling for LA. Now, they also had a chance to keep themselves in the game to a certain standpoint until, they just kind of got away, a run here, 80-yard run here, 60-yard run there, and 200 yards later, there's a much room for you there, right? So they made it to the end of their road, but with all that they're going through as a coast, man, for them to even make it this far is pretty remarkable, and they should be commended for that. So they fought hard, man, but the better team did win. I think the Eagles were one of the best team in the playoffs, and yeah.
Okay, so you are the heart of this show. You are the person that will keep us kind of grounded and tethered to our humanity here. I am not like that. I'm a Matthew Stafford truther. I believe Matthew Stafford is one of the most underrated players in NFL history.
Okay.
Like, I believe that is an all-time elite quarterback. I hated him for many years because I was a Packers fan. But I think Matthew Stafford is one of the all-time elite quarterbacks in NFL history. It's over.
Okay. I like the preface. The build up there. Like,
hey, brother, I will walk you up this cliff before. I will walk you up this cliff before I push you off of it. Like, I'm going to get you up out of here.
Wow.
Yeah, but like, it's over, bro. Like, that's what I saw in that game. I saw Matthew Stafford not be able to kind of summon the magic that you're saying. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's always been a little element of magic that which I forgot to mention when we were talking about Kansas City. That Woo lady that Patrick Mahomes got is undefeated.
Oh,
she's undefeated. Whoever she is, brewing them potions in the background.
Yeah,
she got it.
Them and the refs. That's a deadly combination.
But back to this, Matthew Stafford, bro. Like, I don't want to put this squarely on him because I thought they fought hard and all this. It just felt like he didn't have enough, and that was the first time where I watched Matthew Stafford, and I felt like he didn't have enough to win the game. Like, not that this team wasn't good enough, not that, it was him. He didn't have enough.
Wait, bro. There were a lot of drop balls that game, too, now.
Sure, I get it, but that's always.
I saw like 3 or 4 drop balls that game, but just, I'm not trying to. I'm just going off of like what I remember. Like, damn, they putting a lot of balls on the ground for.
No, you're right.
Now, it was cold as hell. She was probably like trying to catch a damn ice brick, but yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of, it snowed in Tallahassee yesterday.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
I've been in this state for a long time, ladies and gentlemen.
That cold front coming is okay. Yeah, I know.
No, it snowed.
Wow. Okay.
Like, there was a snowman in my front yard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Real. It's crazy out here. The world is coming to an end, ladies and gentlemen. But look, dog, like, I felt like even Matthew Stafford's numbers were phenomenal too. Like, and I think, like, people may not understand what I'm saying when I think it's over. Like, he had 324 yards passing. And I'm not saying that that's easy, but I just felt like plays that teams normally rely on Matthew Stafford for, he can't give them to him anymore, bro. It all felt like
the word earlier, like summon, like he does pull some stuff out of his hat where he's like, that was superpowers you just used to do that. Yeah.
But then again, like, you also got to give credit to the Eagles. And, like, I don't want to play both sides of the fence on everything, but, like, come on, man. They have found it. They have found the formula, and they are, like, I agree. They're one of the hardest teams to beat in this league because of now they have a super power in that backfield.
Like, you know what stood out to me too on the other side of the ball? That kid Jalen Carter, the guy from he's pretty dominant in there. He's pretty good. And the play that he made, getting the ball out, punching it out.
Like, he made another play that resulted in nothing where he picked Matthew Stafford up off of his feet.
Oh yeah. Like, he's known for doing that. He picked the kid up in the national championship game and put a 1-up in there.
Hey, bro,
you know what? It was Jaden Daniels.
Listen to me, brother.
That's what that was. That's funny. Yeah, so maybe
We're
he'll
gonna
do that
stop
to me
playing.
again next
We're
week.
gonna stop playing football if you move me off my feet against my will. I don't
Oh
like
yeah. Oh
this.
no. Oh yes. Yeah. Don't pick me up off both of my feet.
Come on, bro. Knock me
Yeah. That's
down. We
disrespectful.
can do that. You
Yeah.
can knock
Yeah.
me
You have to
down.
talk to him after that. Hey, bro, don't pick me up
Hey,
off both of my feet.
come on, bro. I got children. I got kids out here watching this game. All right, don't do that to me. But yeah, I feel like all those Georgia boys that they got over there, like, man, like those kids are starting to pop. I saw a lot of people talking about how it was a travesty that the Eagles were able to get him. How did he fall so far down the draft board? Y'all know how he fell so far down there. The boys in Georgia like to drive fast.
A lot of drive fast.
Yeah, they like to drive fast, and you know what I mean. And
All
sometimes
these
that
kids
ain't
need to
always.
slow down though, bro. I used to be like that too, man. They got to stop the we got to get the kids, to stop the drinking and the fast driving.
Let's take a detour. Let's take a detour then. You were like that. How could somebody have gotten 18, 19-year-old JT to understand that that's probably not the way to live?
Do you think we should add maybe $100,000 to that too? Or not? Because I don't know if I make it out of college with that, right? But yeah, there were some growing pains. I had to learn how to be a young pro. It took me some time. I'm from the Dell. Yeah.
You feel me? And a lot of these young men suffer from the same thing, where it's like it's easy, like now in some of our cases, 37 years old, to be able to sit here and say, "Oh, that's young man, you shouldn't be doing that." But it's also easy to remember when I was young man's age. Yeah. You from Lauderdale? I'm from Pompano, brother. Us Broward boys have a tendency to misbehave from time to time.
Yeah.
All right. So
in them fast cars. Oh man.
Brother, don't let you have a little change.
With that being said, hey kids, young men, man, please slow down. Like, please don't drink and drive. There's too much danger out there. You got too much ahead going for yourself. You got the kid Kyron Lacey. That was a whole situation, another situation.
Yeah.
Like, man, just slow down, fellas. It ain't worth it, man. You talk about 1 second of your life being, throwing away the rest of it. So yeah, man, just slow down, fellas. Back to the show a little bit. Last game is probably one that I watched the most. Man, am I pulling for Lamar Jackson?
It hurts, JT. This last game, I think this last game is kind of like it was the marquee game because in a lot of people's eyes, this game would essentially solidify who was basically number 2. Who's the second best quarterback in the league? Who's the second best quarterback of this era? And I think we've gotten to this point with Lamar Jackson where we said, like, every year, like, this year legitimately might have been his best opportunity. But I remember 2 years ago when he had the best opportunity that he had. You know what I mean? Like, he just won an MVP. Like, your team is the best that you got. And again, like, I know I'm gonna let you get your points off first because you obviously know more about football now. But like, and I know some people are going to boil it down to kind of the Mark Andrews fumble and then the Mark Andrews drop to 2-point conversion. But Lamar Jackson had 2 turnovers that were pretty big too. Like, I can't absolve him anymore. And I think it's just like it's a tough conversation to have because you pull for him, but like at some point the results have to matter and the excuses have to stop. And I think this was the year where I got to that point with Lamar.
I will say this, right? He's not the kind of kid to make excuses, and that's what I got from him. His post-game interview, he took full accountability for his part in it and didn't even mention the other part of it. Yeah. To me, that will make me pull for you more when you're that guy. Like, I can tell he was pissed off at himself, like legitimately. And that means more to us than ever when we know at the end of the day that guy cares and ain't nothing that you saw out there from a mistake standpoint that he wouldn't have done anything in his power to avoid from happening, right? Okay, one was an errant pass. It got away from you a little bit, right? It happens, right? The other trying to turn a bad play into a decent play turned it into the worst play possible, right? On the high snap and You just eat that when you just get on it, right? And that seems to be the recurring theme in Lamar's shortfalls as far as it comes to the playoffs. Wanting it so bad that you're almost doing too much, right? That we're just falling on the ball there could have changed the outcome of that game, right? But he's not running from that. I respect that. He plays his heart out. I respect what he did the second half, right? Which was doing less, which was turning around and handing the ball. And these are things that I know that, whether it was the coordinator or him intentionally, like just slowing the game down. I got the best back in the game. I'm actually going to use the weapon that they gave me. Yeah, they slowed the game down and stopped making the mistakes there, and they really couldn't be stopped in the second half. At the end of the day, they were able to make progress and move the ball, right? So, he definitely has to get rid of those costly turnovers. That was the difference in the game. Mark had the worst day of his life. Like, that's his go-to. That's his guy, right? Isn't the first time that he's fumbled in a really critical moment. He did it against Pittsburgh. That may have been the difference between them maybe being the having home field advantage. It just sucks for Lamar, man, because I know he wants it so bad, and we want it for him, right? And then right there at the end, like, I'm literally watching close enough to where as soon as he dropped it, I'm like, oh, like, it's one of those to where, like, me being, surprised and dumbfounded when he dropped that ball. I mean, hit him right in the chest. If anything, Lamar did a good job at keeping him back inside so that he wouldn't run out of bounds.
Keeping it away from the defender and all, bro. And I promise you, JT,
he made a great throw. He needed to catch that for Lamar, for Baltimore, for everyone.
I feel you.
Boils down to one play.
I feel you, bro. But I still feel like it's not even subconscious. Like, I still feel like, even with all that, like, I have to hold Lamar Jackson accountable, bro. Like, I can't. I agree with every word you said, and that's the part that. And I'm fighting against myself. I'm fighting against myself not to just kind of like yes man everything that you just said. But bro, like, I don't care. Like, you keep losing these damn games. Like, you keep losing them. You know what I mean? Like, I believe you are a warrior. I believe you are a great leader. I believe you are a great quarterback. I believe people were wrong to suggest that you switch positions. I believe that everybody has their faults in there. I also believe that you have created an atmosphere where in the playoffs, your team can't get down 14 points and people expect for you to win the playoff game. You can't go down 2 scores and come back because for whatever reason, after all the success you have in the regular season, the same problems keep reoccurring in this postseason, in the playoff setting. So, like, it's tough, bro, because I'm telling you, bro, like, one of my favorite players of all time. Like, it's no doubt easily, bro. But I also can't deny what I'm watching, bro. Like, and I don't want to make this a whole Lamar thing because Josh Allen.
I'm about to say, how about we shift the focus more to
let's talk about what Josh Allen did right.
Those are 2 quarterbacks who both had MVP years, and the rubber
they had the same thing at stake here. Like, if you lose this game, you are known as a playoff choker. Like, that's just what both of them had on hanging over their head here. And Josh Allen, shout out to Josh Allen, man. Like, I when we talked about it a couple weeks ago about who's the MVP, I picked Lamar to be my MVP. I think I'm still going to go with that based off of the regular season that he had. Like, just too much there for me to kind of turn a blind eye. But when it comes to, like, Josh Allen, he balled out, bro. Like, when his team needed him, bro, he showed up. Yeah, bro, he's a dog.
They were running quarterback powers when it mattered most, like putting the ball in his hands, saying, y'all can't tackle him. Like,
take me there.
That's a lot. Like, to put the ball in his hand on them quarterback powers like that in the clutch situations, like, and then that's really hard to stop the way it makes the rest of it makes everything else hard when the quarterback is a fullback, a tight end for that matter. Yeah. You know what I mean? So hats off to Josh Allen, man, like taking care of business, home field advantage, all that good stuff. It was a Buffalo kind of game, from the optic standpoint, the weather and whatnot. Shout out to my old coach, Bobby Babbage, up there. Man, Coach Babbage was a foundational part of my career. My linebacker coach at the Chicago Bears, guy who worked me out for my pro day, to where that's definitely my one of my favorite NFL linebacker coaches, man. And shout out to him. They're having success up there. He's been up there for a while. Should have picked my ass up when I was a free agent, but other than that, they're having they're doing a great job, and I wish them the best of luck, man, going forward. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get into it next week, though. Let's get into it a little bit next week. I want to hear kind of like your predictions. So we got let's do Washington and the Eagles first.
Okay, prediction.
Just kind of like, how do you see that matchup playing out?
I got my family, my stepmama, Rochelle Thomas. She loves her some Eagles, and I'm okay with the Eagles too, although they're one of our biggest rivals. But man, a part of me just thinks that this kid has enough in the tank to shock the world. They got something right going on in Washington, and everybody wants to be a part of it. There's a new owner, they got magic. Magic is something. It's something about Matt, to where I could see the Eagles having one of their games when they're not operating as efficiently as they could. Like when somebody actually does tackle Saquon, no one has been able to do that yet. Dan Quinn, we didn't mention him in the Washington versus Lions.
I did.
Okay. He's a Dan Campbell. They're the same guy. I like Dan Quinn a lot.
Me too.
Enough to take the Redskins in that game. There you go. On the other side,
hold on.
Okay, you want to go next, or you want to just get in real quick?
Yeah, I'm gonna get in real quick, and then we'll switch to the other side. So with this game, I do think I agree with you that there is enough in that kid's tank to win this game. I do agree that that Dan Quinn is a phenomenal football coach who doesn't get enough credit. I also believe that because we haven't seen it yet, I'm wary of whether or not this will be the game where we see the stage get too big for Jaden Daniels. I think that the talent's there. I think that he's capable. I have a hard time seeing a rookie being able to continue to deal with the mounting pressure of kind of what comes with an NFC Championship game, a Super Bowl on the line. I guess I have to see it, but I don't know too many rookie quarterbacks that can deal with that. And on the other side of the field, he's got somebody who's done it before. Jalen Hurts has been to a Super Bowl, performed well in the Super Bowl, and is hungry to get his opportunity to kind of get himself in this top-tier quarterback conversation too. They have the best running game left in the playoffs, and I agree with your point. Nobody's been able to tackle Saquon yet. I don't think Washington gonna do it. So I do think that while Washington has the ability to score a bunch of points, Philadelphia has the weapons to keep them off of the field. And I think if they keep it in a game where Washington isn't scoring 35 plus points, then Washington loses that game. And so I see the Eagles coming out, beating them something along the lines of 24-17 or something like that. Where they just keep Washington's offense off the field just enough to keep them from getting rolling. But I agree with you. It's a scary thought though, bro, because that kid is phenomenal.
It might be a little bit of my heart and my nature in the sense of I'm an underdog by default. So it's maybe that's what's drawing me over there as well too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
In this case too, right? I don't know if the Buffalo has a better record than Kansas City. None of that stuff matters at this point, but it's wait, the game is going to be at Arrowhead.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Okay, I'm taking Mahomes. Yeah, I'll take Mahomes at Arrowhead.
This is the Kansas City.
I'm taking Taylor Swift. I mean,
This is the Kansas City Invitational, JT.
Okay.
We've seen this story before with the same challenger. Josh Allen has had a phenomenal season. It's over.
Okay.
Okay. I think like it's because I've already
He
kind of made
upset
up
him.
in my mind.
It's gonna be egg on both of our face. He upset these boys, but I get what you're saying.
But would it be though, JT? Like, would it really be an upset if Josh Allen beats Mahomes this year?
Oh no, I get what you're saying.
I
You
don't think
talking
it'll
about
be
the
an upset. I
MVP?
think it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you're talking about somebody who's faced this team before, who's playoff tested, who's battled this team in the playoffs before, so they know their opponent. So would it surprise me if Buffalo won? Not at all. I just don't expect them to do it because I ain't never seen them do it. Like, I've seen Mahomes kind of like turn into what he's going to turn into at some point during the course of this game. Yeah. I've seen him, like, he's going to do the thing. And so, like, it's going to be up to Josh Allen to overcome that. Is he capable? Absolutely. Will he do it, though? I don't know. That's a tall mountain, bro, but I'm interested to see it. I'm picking Kansas City because I just think that three-peat is inevitable this year, bro. I think they're going to get it done, bro.
And it's like they want to see it.
Man, ooh, a three-peat? Man, we ain't never seen that before.
It's pretty.
What new marketing opportunities do we have?
Oh man. Oh man. I'm with you on that. Yeah. Bro. Yeah.
That's tough.
Okay. Well, we made it to the end of the show.
We did.
And I told you all, for the people who would be able to stay around and make it to this part of the function, man, that I give you all a delicious treat for some and a little bittersweet, to others. As you know, I've been around the high school football game, very closely lately, assisting at our high school, Ely High School, for this past year, and it's really ignited. There we go. It's really ignited a fire in me to want to pursue coaching a little bit more seriously, right? I've had a chance to be around and see long enough that there's a need there down here in South Florida, and I think I'm better fit to serve for those needs than most, and I have this social contract, this social responsibility, when you feel like you've been put here to serve and lead, like it'd be a little blasphemous for me to not start to pursue some of those things if I feel like I'm ready, right? So this will be my last year with Ely, and now you're currently looking at the new head coach for Deerfield Beach High School.
No! How could you? No, in all seriousness, congratulations, my boy. Listen, my guy. Dog,
appreciate you, dog.
For somebody who's known you for damn near half of my life, at this point, I don't think there's anybody more deserving of an opportunity to kind of like turn a program around than you are, bro. You've played this game at a high level. You know this game at a high level, bro. And first and foremost, like, your heart for the game is real, and your heart for the people and communities that you serve in is real, bro. Like, you want to help these kids get better. You want to help these kids achieve everything that they want to achieve. And brother, like, I am great. I am excited to see kind of like that manifest itself in actuality. So Deerfield, you got yourselves a good one.
Tell you what, Roy, that means a whole lot, man. You're one of my classmates. We don't have a chance to play ball together, and it's like, I care about Ely more than anything in the world, right? I care about these kids. I care about my purpose. I care about God more, right? I want to be able to use this platform for good, teach kids about their faith. I wanted to be, very inclusive and involve family. That family be a big part of it. And and then as far as the football go, more than even football, it's like I want to show the kids what the power of focus can get you, like what the power of locking in for a year can do for you, just 1 year, let alone stacking a few years up like that, You know what I mean? So getting the kids really dialed into the process, teaching them the process as they participate in it, as well too. My ultimate goal is to help kids reach their full potential, and not just the kids, everybody involved, right? The coaches. I want to see my coaches go on to be head coaches. That'll be my most important job, is finding the right guys to bring alongside me. And man, I can't tell you how, the overwhelming support, from my closer circle that I've had a chance to make somewhat privy to what's going on. And man, that brotherhood that we built there at the school, it goes beyond those walls, and
For sure.
it becomes more important than the school itself. So like to get my support from, the crew, from my boys in A6, like, all my boys, like that meant the world to me. Like, and I couldn't have made the decision, without them, man, hats off to my wife, man, for even allowing me to take on something like this. Like, we got 2 kids under 3. This is a interesting time that I chose to pursue a venture like this, but man, I feel it calling me. You know what I mean? And if I'm wrong, we'll see. But I don't think God would reveal the things that He has to me for to be wrong. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, I'm super excited and pumped up about the opportunity. I got to thank Principal Marlowe for making the decision so easy. Miss Tia Hill, like, that sat down in that first interview. I didn't plan on going nowhere. I didn't know what I would, but from the very beginning, that was a real natural connection. And I feel like it gives the kids and I the best opportunity to have immediate success. I want to double back and also, shout out Coach Terrence McFadden at Ely, who's doing an outstanding job coaching his butt off. We just had one of the biggest wins in the program history. That's not to be taken for granted. Shout out to administration, from Tavares to Coach T, to Mr. Spencer, everybody who just, Jordan, we got that same crew of people who are still keeping the fire burning at our school, man. But, sometimes it's good to change, to shift gears, man, to change the scenery, to expand, to serve a new audience, yeah, man. Yeah. I can go on and
Right.
on. More than anything, I just feel super humbled about the opportunity. I'm super excited about it. I'm definitely going to keep everyone in tune and be able to share and let people know where I'm at and how they can support and watch and, yeah, man, just putting it on tape, man. I won't lie now. We want to obliterate everything we touched this year. I got
And
a
I
little.
wish you nothing. I wish you nothing but success, except
Yeah,
for one game every
yeah, and I'm
year.
telling you
I,
that
I,
that one
want, I want you
game,
to win. I want you to win
that
every one
one
of them,
game,
except
I got the
one.
biggest chip on my shoulder I can have right
I
now.
already know, brother. I
Somebody
already
got to
know.
pay.
Hey, we
Somebody
got
got
to
to pay.
work. We got to work. You feel me? So
They
this is
definitely got
like
to.
we
They
got
better
to
get on
work
it.
because y'all know this boy finna work, bro. So shout out to you, brother, again, bro.
And I
Congratulations,
think
bro.
what's going to happen here, like making this thing fun again and competitive, I think is actually going to do what I hope it will do to the program, and that's make us grow, continue to grow. This is just good competition. I think Coach needs to continue to be a head coach and serve the community. Man, he's doing a great job for Pompano. Man, we see Kodak, Nava, man, like bringing the community together to the game. Like that's important. That's bigger than me. That's what we need, right? And I'll always be rooting for Ely High, except when we're lacing it up against them, man. And yeah, just building off of the long tradition at Deerfield as well, too. Coach Fife, man, did such a good job, when he was there. It's still a lot of residual value around the program just based off of how well of a job he did. So for as dead as the program, not for as tough of a season as the program just had, 2 or 3 years ago, this was an 8, 9, 10 win a year team. You know what I mean? And if they weren't winning 8, 9, or 10 games, they was putting 20 at a time into college. That's the ultimate goal. So, I got big shoes to fill, and when it comes to a guy like Fife, but man, I hope to do something so different that it doesn't compare to what has been done in the past. They've never had a state championship there at Deerfield Beach. I'm trying to make history. and that's just one of our milestones. The real goal is to be a national champion. So, just want to take it one day at a time. You know what I mean? I've gotten great feedback on the move, and success loves speed, man. Like, more than anything, like, I want to take this momentum that I feel like I built, in the game with the kids, from my camp to my family there's a lot of people entering that high school state that I can resonate with, from their parents to the players. And I'd be remiss not to exhaust this opportunity to continue to propel the children forward, man. So I'm going to do my part for sure. I know Coach will do his, and it's just really, at the end of the day, it's about the kids getting out of here, man. It don't matter what school they do it for. We should be rooting for any of the kids that are putting themselves in position to create a new life for themselves, man. So yeah, I can go on and on, but I'd say this, stay tuned. We got a press conference coming up on Friday to be time to be announced at Deerfield Beach. And yeah, man, stay ready. Let's get it. It doesn't get any more exciting to have an opportunity to lead some young men to battle, man. So there's the breaking news I have for you, bro.
As heartbreaking as that is, again, bro, like, it is. I'm beyond excited to see you get an opportunity to kind of like move beyond, like, just things that I knew you want to do. Like, when we saw each other, like, I just knew something was in the works, bro. And we talked about it a little bit. Yeah, like, we talked about it a little bit, but it's like you ain't let me know either until you got on here. But it's still like,
I've given everything I had to our school for the last 5, 6, 7 years. As much as I could be present. I was keeping it. Okay.
You don't owe nobody no explanation, brother, for you moving forward and moving the way God told you to move. Like, anybody who's not happy for you, I'm not gonna say it because this is a family show. And JT Grandma watch this. But anybody who does not appreciate the way that you're moving and the way that you have moved throughout the course of these years, everything that you've given back to our school, everything that you've given back to that program, then they don't deserve to kind of like enjoy the success that you are bound to have, bro. You work hard. You do things the right way. You're a man of like character, and so like that breeds success. So like, again, Deerfield, you got yourself
a lot hidden from you, bro. I ain't never heard you talk about me like this now.
Come on, bro, because you never will again. You never will again. Once you put on them filthy colors, I'll talk about you like a dog to your face now. But yeah, like, shout out to you, man. Shout out to the program, bro. And shout out to everybody who tapped in today, bro. Make sure y'all subscribe to Crew Sports Media. Make sure you subscribe on Facebook. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers on Facebook. That way we can do this program live over there. But if you happen to catch us on Instagram, travel over to YouTube right now. Subscribe to YouTube on the Crew Sports Media page over here as well. We're gonna figure something out because I think Crew Sports Media,
if anything, it's made it even better, right?
It gives us different levels of access.
I say this, man. Shout out to our sponsor, Basement Sports Network. Couldn't have done this without them. Shout out to them forever.
Yeah, and we're gonna keep doing it, but
Sports Network for sure.
But yeah, man. Any final words before we get up out of here, JT?
Nah, man. I think we covered just about everything. When it comes to the move, that's I'm just one man. Making one move. Like, we try to cover the game here and highlight, the success and failures of the whole thing. Make some fun out of it. Bring us together here, man. Like you said, subscribe. Comment. Tell us what y'all want to hear about. You know what I mean? And let's just continue to grow this thing, man. If I had to part with anything, you know what it'd be. Stay ready. So
let's get it.